So here you can see I pick goat. Okay. I explained the other day, briefly, that these six lights you see up here in the right hand corner, the six spotlights, they represent six, we'll call it planets. But it ain't planets. They're they're literally deities. You grew up believing they were planets, and so did I. But it took 15 years, well, a little bit less than that, to change my mind to where I had enough knowledge to know that actually they're deities. They believe they're deities, but they teach us they're balls of dirt floating around out yonder somewhere or another. And they're going to go land on them just like they did the moon in 1969, if you still believe that. If you still believe that, you might be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Anyways, those are six planets. They are the six planets that will be visible in the skies over the United States in September. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about another character. We want to talk about the blue Kachina. And I'm finding it in the video here where she shows up right about here. Okay, you have to understand that everything you see in here, if she's stomping her feet, it means likely it will mean either has to do with sound or motion. It's all symbolism. They didn't put anything in here. The scene you're looking at here is a scene coming out that is representative to be or symbolic for the heavens, up in the heavens, okay? I'm checking to see what my settings are all on, okay? So the first thing she does is she stomps her feet. And I'm going to slow this down so we can see what she is doing. Now I say she because I'm calling this the blue Kachina because it is. I just didn't realize it for 13 years, but I'm positive now. Look at her color for one, and then hang on. Okay, so you can see her color, and you say, well, that's Shiva. You're right, it's just a different name. It's for a deity, okay, that at a time comes, okay, and what the background you're looking at is a representation or symbolic for the matrix, the not earthly matrix but the heavenly matrix, okay. Now there's probably even more clues and hints that I possibly might miss here, but notice that this what would you call it, a avatar is wearing a mask, and ultimately it's wearing multiple masks, okay, and we're going to talk about all of them, and some of this will be on the spot decoding, okay, but I already know what we're looking at here. We're looking at the blue Kachina that removes her mask, but we want to know what that means, and when the mask is removed, what is it? And the dances that she does when she has different masks on, what is that about? Okay? You remember the other day, Roxy, I said, we were talking about the Midnight Hammer, and I said that at some point I would think that if Babylon was being judged, that there would be a masking of the faith, a symbolic masking somehow of something highly representative of the United States. Do you remember that?
Yes.
It's interesting how we have seen over the last 4 years they not only masked the entire United States, they veiled the entire country and world. That very well may be the masking and the judgment masking that I'm talking about. The death mask. See, when anyone is judged to die, you go all the way back to Jesus. When they judged him to die at midnight, and then of course they took him to Pontius or whatever his name was in the morning, the Roman emperor guy. They took him at daybreak to him, but they judged him like in the middle of the night at midnight, which is interesting because it ties directly to IPEC Goat as well. But when after Pontius had judged him to die, the Roman emperor, or however you pronounce his name, he they then they veiled Christ's face. I can't remember if it's in Mark or Matthew, but one of the either other says that they veiled his face because he had been judged to die. Like if someone's going to go in the electric chair, they're going to veil their face before they electrocute them. If they're going to be shot at the stake,
yeah, they put a bag on their head.
Right. If they're going to be shot at the stake, they put a bag on their head. They veil their face. Okay? And throughout time immemorial and cultures, the veiling of the face is judgment. That's why I called the masks that everybody was putting on judgment masks or death masks. There's even an Illuminati playing card called the Death Mask. So, that's why this mask is very important, and the masking that has to get taken place in America and in the world. So now let's go ahead and step forward because we want to see what she does. I'm gonna let it play. She's gonna look to the left and look to the right, spin around, and then it's gonna go to another scene, but then it's gonna come back to her again. Well, let's watch. She's gonna stick her tongue out in just a moment. The sticking out of the tongue is symbolic, believe it or not, for showing of authority, showing of I don't give a crap. I'm the one in charge. Thousands of years ago, when the Romans would go to battle, and other cultures, not just Romans, particularly other cultures even more, the male that was in charge would typically show his genitals, and they would typically be erect, and it was symbolism for I am the man. Okay, I am the authority. So the sticking out of the tongue is related to that, just to give you more context. Now, what's her name? Katie Couric? No, not Katie Couric, with the Today Show at Rockefeller Center. On that day back in September, back in around 2001, y'all guys know what day I'm talking about, right? Anyways, the Ann Curry, that's what her name was. She's an Asian-looking lady. That morning, the morning of that event, they panned around the scene, and I've showed this on my shows before. They panned around the scenes, and they showed Ann Curry. The camera glanced back at Ann Curry, and she did this at the camera on that morning before the first tower. She did this. So now you understand what that means. Let's keep going. Okay, I'm going to kind of jump us forward.
Side note, I want to come back to a tongue question.
Okay, you notice what I just said about the tongue thing and the erect penis, right? The scene right after that is this.
Yes.
Just happens to be. Now let's go ahead and move forward. I want to go to, I mean, all of these scenes I can explain, but I'm going to try to stick to the blue Kachina. Okay, I want to, let's see, back up. Okay, let's let this play in. I'll stop it right here. What were you going to say, Roxy?
Just letting you know.
Uh-huh.
From when I answer you to when you hear me.
Is a big difference?
There is a delay.
Can you give me a 5 count with your hands?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So there's about a second delay. Okay.
Yes. Just letting you know, when I answer you, you think I'm out there. I'm listening.
I got you. There's a delay over a second. I got you. All right. Well, let's keep going. At least everything else is working pretty well. We're working on it, guys. I promise you. Okay, so let's let this play forward a little bit. Now, here's one of the first things you notice on this image is there is a star on each one of these, the chests of each one of these avatars. Each one of these avatars that are representing different phases of the dance of the blue Kachina. Okay? And it has a star on the chest. The star represents a star. It represents an angel. It represents an angelic deity. Okay? The stars are not planets. The stars are not gajillions of miles away. This is all a local environment. I know some people still have a hard time with that, but I don't. So, but what I want you to notice is there's a star on the blue Kachina's face. Now let's keep going. Now you'll notice currently that the blue Kachina has changed masks to something that looks like a frog with an Indian feather. A frog with an Indian feather. Now let's go to the blue Kachina, the Hopi blue Kachina Indians, and look at some of the so-called representations of this. Now, that is not too far off of that. You see it has a green head. That means the head of the comet. And I say comet, and yes, I know I said star a while ago, but comets are deities also. They are the celestial essence of a deity, of a, you might say, angel of high order. Okay? So now, the depictions of the Hopi Indian blue Kachina at one phase, according to this particular symbolism that someone created, is showing this image, which matches this image. Now, if we go back here and we look again, we'll probably find one that looks like a bird, and one that looks like a bear, because it's part of the Hopi story. Like, let's see what this one looks like. And I say a bird and a bear because you'll see that the blue Kachina in I Pet Goat changes from mask to mask and then takes the mask off. So this one looks so you can see it has something that looks kind of like a star all over its body. It has a bow with a quiver in its hand. Again, all symbolism for kind of sounds like the riders of the four horses, which brings me actually to the possibility that the pale rider of the four horses is the blue Kachina. Because the horse is said something, when it says horse, it means something of great power. And it's pale green is what the pale horse translates to, is pale green. So we can add that to our symbolism and to our list of different ways that the blue Kachina has been represented across all these different pieces of media. And I'm gonna got a lot more to show you, so don't go nowhere. I'm just pulling up the eSword so I can have it here to refer back to momentarily. And let's go to Revelations. See what is it? 6. Okay. So you have the white horse, which is the medical industry and the scientific industry. That white horse has been riding for a long time already. You have the red horse, the one that has the power to cause them to kill one another. And then you have the third seal, and it says, I beheld, and lo, or excuse me, the third horse is a black horse, and then there is a pale horse. Pale horse. If you look up pale, what it means is a greenish color, a pale green. And we'll probably do that here in a few minutes. We'll highlight that so we can come back to it here in just a minute. Alright, so let's go back over here. We've got a depiction of one of the faces as the blue Kachina does its dance in the heavens, because that is absolutely what this is. Let's step forward, see what we get. So it dances around as this Indian green-faced frog or reptile or something along those lines. And you'll notice that as it dances, lizard, yeah, reptile. It's likely an indication of another tie as to, that is also biblical, that as to actually what this really is, what it is representing the arrival of, the deity that it is that is coming down again. And I say again, because epochs in time and all things run in a somewhat of a circle over and over. That is my opinion, and it is my belief, and I believe I'm right. And so I've said before, the fallen angels are back. Well, they're coming down too, along with the Comet Atlas some months ago. But we also have this big deity, and they announced about 2 weeks ago that there is a comet that is going to be green, or bluish green, that is called Atlas, a different name of Atlas. Supposedly it's a different comet, but you're depending on liars to tell you the truth. I mean, NASA itself means deceive in Hebrew. So you're depending on liars to tell you the truth. This ain't even the same comet. It could be the same one that we've seen months ago. And if you want to know what a comet really is, and I said it is the essence of a deity of high order. Symbolically, it is literally the creative energy, the creative force, similar to a sperm, which is why they call, when they want to test a man's virility, and they look at his sperm under a microscope, it is called a comet assay. A comet assay. Yeah, COMET assay. That is what it is called. It's because it is related. Things in the heavens will be symbolically the same and function the same in some ways as all things on earth, and vice versa. And also in our bodies even. There's 3 levels to it. Okay, so let's keep going. Let's see what this reptile or whatever this thing is up to. So he's dipping and rising, and he's spinning. So we're going to see something coming in the heavens that's going to be dipping and rising, and spinning, looking like it's coming at us to hit us. That is my prediction. We're going to see something dipping and rising, and spinning, coming at us. The people who created iPet Goat, however they got it, they have the knowledge, the books, the scrolls, whatever it is, however it was written, hieroglyphs, I don't know. They have the knowledge and they know what's coming. Even the Hopi Indians said that the blue Kachina dances. What is a dance? Well, he's dancing right here in our pet goat. That's a dance. Now you'll notice while the blue Kachina is dancing, there is something that looks like either shark fins or waves, because he is doing a wave. Keep hitting my mic. He's doing a wave like this with his arm, and they're showing waves. Now, I can't swear for sure if it's representing a shark, because a shark is an important part of the decode of iPet Goat, or is it representing a frequency that it's going to be broadcasting as it comes in, projecting. All angels, deities project frequency. That's why the Bible says they sing, because they project energy, frequency, vibration, the things that everything's made of. So let's keep going and see what this blue Kachina is going to do. So the blue Kachina magically changes masks, and now it goes from having just not really any kind of fancy gloves or hands to now it changes to something that has the paws of a bear, or what looks possibly like a bear. He keeps his Hopi Indian feather on the head, but now he has the hands of a bear. I say bear, that's kind of what strikes me first. Is that what you would say, Roxy?
Yes.
Now, I'm noticing, because I have a very large screen right here in front of me, about 53 inch. Right above the mask, I can see what looks like, it's hard to say. Let me see if I can go any higher with, no. But there is a 4K version of this, although I looked for it the other day and couldn't find it. The 4K version, because this is a 4K monitor, I could probably see it better as to what that is, but we'll let that go for now. But we still got our Indian feather in our head or hat, and the cross member here, which to me, I'm trying to think of the name of the religious organization that uses that. But it's slipping my mind at the moment. But I guess we have a face of a bear with the hands of a bear, and of course, it's still a star. It's still the same star. It's just changed its face. A face is something that anyone...
Shapeshifter.
Huh?
Shapeshifter.
Yeah, like shapeshifter, or it was this like reptile frog looking thing, and it was swirling and waving. So it's swirling coming in and waving, or either it's putting off a frequency, a broadcast, and then it changes masks, and now it takes on the attributes somehow that is tied to a bear. Now a bear, and I haven't thought all this through, I'm doing it with y'all guys. A bear is something that devours much flesh. Reminds me of, I think it's the book of Daniel, which book of Daniel is a pre-prophecy of Revelation, and it talks about the bear that has 3 ribs in its mouth, and it goes out to devour much flesh. I don't see anything symbolism of ribs here, but certainly bearish. So a bear is normally a slow-moving creature, but can move very fast. And see, there's a piece of the symbolism to a bear that's not clicking in my head that would answer the question of the behavior that we're going to see come out of this likely comet. Okay, and there's reasons why I'm saying comet more than even what I've said so far that I'll get to. So let's keep rolling. He's stomping his feet, boom, raising his arms. He's like in a bear attack mode, like he's, roar, I'm coming to get you. Right? jumps over, he comes down, spins around. There goes the masks. Wait a minute. When did we lose the gloves? So the gloves went first. Everything means something in this video. Everything. So the hands of a bear disappeared first. And then it spins around. And it turns into I wonder if anybody knows, obviously this looks more like a bird. But I wonder if anybody knows that mask right there. It reminds me of the epidemic mask, the pandemic mask that was seen, that was worn by, I guess you could call them doctors, and I think belongs to Roxy. Yep. So I'm sure she'll be back in a minute. So I'm wondering, let me know if anybody says in the comments about what that mask is called. See that bird mask? There was a mask that was worn by some pandemic, the Phoenix. That's not the name of the mask, I don't think. It was. We're talking something from 200 years ago, 300, maybe 400. I've seen images of this mask, how it's beaked out like that. And it may not be related, but it very well may be. And it may mean, it may have something to do with an event that will be taking place while this blue Kachina is coming at us, you see. This mask could represent something that's happening to us on the earth. It could, if this is a pandemic mask, then it would mean that they would say that this doctor's pledge mask. All right, let me look that up real quick. Doctor's pledge mask. Plague mask. Doctor's plague mask. That's what we're saying. That's it. Oh boy. Wow. I was right. And so were y'all guys. All right. Okay. So do you already know what this means? You get it? So this is why it looks like a bird. But it is not a bird. It's something, it's an effect or something, an event that's going to happen when this blue Kachina is coming in. They're going to say that some of the stuff that come off of it has infected the earth and is a plague. That is highly likely exactly what they're going to say. Let's see. Just looking at some more of the images here, guys. It's called the Doctor's Plague Mask. See, this is why you really have to stare at symbolism, and why you really have to, this is why y'all guys, this is an example of what y'all guys get for your money when you support what I do. This is a good, fine example, along with this whole show, really.
Yes. Yeah, that looks like a gas mask.
Yeah, it looks like a gas mask,
And a bird.
and a bird, of course. Um, but it's symbolism for death. What was it that the fourth horse brought with it? The pale horse. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death. And hell followed with him, and power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. So that's what that is. Wow. I hope y'all guys understand what you've just been shown. This is the kind of information I promise you you're not going to see nowhere. There are some who come close. And I say nowhere, let me take that back. Nowhere that I'm aware of. Okay? That's what I'll say. But I give the credit to our Father in heaven, and I also give the credit to y'all guys that we're able to decode this and understand what the prophecies and what this information actually means. It means the coming of a great plague is what it means. Let's go up here. I want a good photo, size-wise anyways. We'll just use this one for now. Well, that ain't as big as I was hoping. So let's use this one. Yeah, this one's, if it opens up correctly, it's very large. Well, dang it. Let's open the window itself, do it a different way. Plague Doctor's Mask. There you go. So now that we've figured that out, that part of the coming of the blue Kachina will be a plague, it should give us more understanding about the bear symbolism. That may as well represent something here. Like, could it represent the third horse? Let's look at the third horse. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, Come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. Okay. So we will have to ponder that for a minute. Now, understand that I've already shown that the white horse and the red horse are very much at play right now. I'm going to show you that real quick, just so you know, in case you've never seen it. This will be old school for some of you. It's called is this right here. This was on the side of a rocket from SpaceX. It's called the NROL-129. 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 Y'all guys give me just a moment. I'm sorry, I just there's a thunderstorm coming up and I had to say a little prayer. This is imagery from that launch, the NROL-129 launch. And on the rocket itself are those patches. If you look at this image right here, you can see those patches. Well, that one's too small. Let's see. Let's see how big this one is. This one's pretty big. We might be able to see it. They're right there. They're not real clear, but they're right there on it. And this is what they say. Our time has come. And it's a white horse, Revelation 6:1. And it's a red horse, the second horse. And both of them say our time has come. One of them is white, of course, and has a bow and it has a crown. And there's also a crown right here where it says our time has come. The red horse has a sword. As you can see, there are swords right here on here, and he comes to cause them to kill each other. The white horse is to conquer and conquer. This represents the scientific and medical industry, and them handing out all the needles, hence your need for a bow. And also a bow, a syringe pulls back and surges forward just like a bow. And the mask that everyone wore, you had to create one of those masks. First off, it is a bow, the way it covers your face, like the bow on a boat. But it also, if you have to, in order to create that mask, you have to cut out a pattern of a bow tie, cut it in the middle, and then sew the ends together, and you have a bowed mask. So there is your white and red horse that is already riding. And now what we have is we have the black horse and the pale horse that are coming likely with the blue Kachina. So now back to this bird, because of course we identified this bird as this bird, which is the doctor's plague mask. So it means that during the coming of the blue Kachina, which is this image here, or this is one depiction of it, I'm going to show you others, you have different events that are going to take place. One of them is going to be a plague. The other one is likely going to be starvation or something like that. I won't say for sure on that one yet. All right, let's keep going. Getting ready to take the mask off next. I'll make it larger for y'all guys. And I'll see you back too, Roxy. So he's spinning around. The mask disappears. So the mask has been removed, just like in the Hopi prophecy. Now you'll notice as it was spinning in circles, it was facing the ground. That means it's going to be facing the earth, and the tail is going to be spinning in a circle. This comet that's coming in. Everything means something. And you see it jumped up, cut a flip in the air, so it's going to jump and flip like that. And then it's going to be, as it's coming at the earth, the tail's going to be spinning, swirling. Another flip, facing downward still, getting close to the earth, right on top of us, and then it removes his mask. And right when it removes his mask, you notice that it got light out. A great spark has taken place. A great, like when an egg is fertilized, there is a great spark. When that is the manifestation of that deity or that entity or that baby or that child crossing the veil and entering into this realm. That's what this represents. Then, what do we see? We see the face of what you would think is a gargoyle, but what this is this is two suns. It means the second sun. It means the arrival of the essence, the physical essence of the Antichrist, or the arrival in some way, maybe even the point of showing his face. Here I am. I've come to save you. You've got plagues. You've got all this terrible stuff going on in the heavens. You've got alien invasions. You've got zombies running around. I'm here to save you. And here's how I'm going to do it. And they will bow down and ask for it. So the two eyes like this, I've thought for a long time, and I haven't changed my opinion yet. It's about the second son, the Antichrist. Not the Christ, but the Antichrist. The literal son or essence in the flesh. And I don't know exactly how this will go down, how it all physically works. I may talk about more later. But let's see what happens next. So you noticed that there was you could say, a great earthquake, which would make sense. The Bible says that even the heavens will shake in these times that are coming. I do know that this story is tied to the story. This whole story itself is also tied to the red dragon who went after the woman's babe in Revelations, where I saw a woman clothed in the sun with the moon at her feet, 12 stars upon her head. That whole story, and the dragon spewing, and the earth opened up its mouth, and that whole story. This is all, everything that's going on is one story. But it's being played out in a way to deceive you. This is why I do what I do in trying to keep you from being deceived, and for myself and for my own family. So we have a great earthquake. Okay, I have a question for you. What? Because I've already called a comet a sperm, haven't I? So what else you gonna say, Daniel? Well, when the sun and the moon come together during an eclipse, what is that called scientifically? It's called a celestial climax. And the reason is because the sun is the masculine side of our duality world. The moon is the feminine side of our duality world. They're opposites. Kind of like positive and negative, north and south. The Arc and the Antarctic. The Arctic and the Antarctic. It's all about duality. The whole everything that we're talking about, really. So, a solar eclipse is called a celestial climax. And the Bible says that even the heavens will quake or shake, whichever word it uses. We all know that, like I said earlier, things that happen in the heaven happen on the earth, and even in our bodies. So because of the fact that a man and a woman, when they couple, when they come together, and there is something called a climax that can take place, that means that this is how the heavens work as well. As in heaven, so on earth. As on earth, so in heaven. As on earth, so in our bodies. And so in our bodies, as so in heaven. So what's happening here is this is the birth of something. The arrival of the energy, the fire, like as we were seeing, this deity was dancing around a fire. Does that fire represent the sun? I don't know, maybe. The eternal fire, maybe. But I know that is the blue Kachina and all the other things that I've told you so far. And I also know this represents, because if you look at this scene a little bit further, you will see that we're looking at a birth coming out of a vaginal opening, aka a portal, where something may come in or something may come out, just like all portals. So this represents, this gargoyle face up here represents the clitoris. And the clitoris creates a storm. That's why it's called a or a clitoris. A torus is another word for storm. It's a spinning storm. Like Bush said, which we're going to listen to in just a moment. Don't you know that an angel dances in a whirlwind and controls this storm? He actually told the truth. And I've seen the angels dancing in a whirlwind many, many times up close, flying over my head, leaving sparks floating down around me. I've seen them casting lightning bolts into the ocean. I've seen them standing still and streaking through the sky. I've seen them be up above me and flash at nighttime and light up the earth like it was a bolt of lightning, but it wasn't. It was an angel. I've seen dozens and dozens and dozens for a long time, most of the time by the water's edge or on the mountaintop. So here we have a birth. What would you say that likely looks like the birth of? So it's not only a birth of something, it's also the birth of a new epoch, a new time, a new era. Not even an era, it's much bigger than that. It's a completion of a grand cycle, the end and the beginning. This video depicts all of tribulation, basically, from when it really kicked in, which it's kicked in really during everybody's lifetime here that's watching. So we're seeing the beginning of a new day, a new epoch, just like the Hopi Indians said. The Hopi Indians said, is a spiritual being, says the Hopi prophecy, the blue Kachina, is a spiritual being that signifies the coming of a new world. Its appearance as a blue star in the sky is believed to be the ninth and final sign before a day of purification, a period of great change and transformation for the earth. This is the four horses of the apocalypse, just like I showed you in Revelations. All the stories is all one story. All the different names for all the gods and deities and all those things throughout all these different times and memorials and everything, it's just all the same group of fallen angels is what I'll call them. You can call them whatever you want. This fallen angel is literally the arrival of Lucifer himself. So this period will be followed by the emergence of the fifth world. And of course it would go on and talk about, if I was to keep looking, it would go on and talk about the blue Kachina removing its mask, saying, "It's me, I'm back again." Alright, so I pretty much covered that for y'all guys. At least that part. See, here are the lilies rising out the water at daybreak. That's what they do. They rise above the water at daybreak. But this is the daybreak of a new, not only day, but time. And then as he turns where you can see the sky right here, you will notice an eagle on this side. That's Aquila. Aquila is in the heavens in September. You see the eagle? Something looks like a bird. It's the constellation of Aquila. Right there. There's the head and here's the wing. Okay? Now, if we jump forward a little bit more, of course, it shows the destruction. Jump on forward a little bit. You can see the tsunami waves, the breaking of the water. You can see all of that. And also you can see on his chin a comet. There's another scene in here too as well where they show a character that looks like Osama bin Laden, and he has a comet on his chin as well. See, there's your comet on the chin as well. And they are riding a shark. which is a submarine. If you back it up, you can see the shark. This will be one of the elements that are used in the destruction of Babylon when the head gets cut off. This is the symbolic head being cut off of Babylon. And this is a shark, a submarine, that will be used in the doing of that. Now when we move forward right here, you can see Aquila on the right again, because this is the same scene from a different perspective. You can see the three locations of Babylon of power: the military, the banking system, and media. Those are those three. And that they will be destroyed from above, coming from out at sea in the morning time, apparently. You can see Scorpius on the left here. Scorpio and Aquila will be in the skies in September. Am I saying it's this September? I don't know. But I do know that there will be 6 planets in the sky this September as well. I need to do some more searching and see if I can figure out what the skies will look like next year or the year after, because I don't want this to go down right now. Got a lot of thunder outside right now, guys. It's getting down. Lightning.
We have no severe thunderstorms.
Yeah, no lightning within 2 miles. And you'll see there's like a little bit of an image of something almost looks like a baby sitting here, or either the head or body of the scorpion. And you can also see part of the bow of what is it, Sagittarius, Capricorn? Right in this, right here where the tip of this tail is at, okay? Right in this spot that they're showing in the sky with the sun there, that is what's called the tail of the dragon. X marks the spot. It's called the tail of the dragon in the celestial heavens. That's what they call it. And it is the location of the arrival of Comet Atlas, that is said to be a green-looking comet, aka the blue Kachina, that will be arriving very soon. Matter of fact, they're saying it gets here this September is when it'll start being visible. It was just discovered a few weeks ago, according to the liars. They've known about it for a long time. That's what this video is about. That's what all this is about. So there you have I Pet Goat. Now you're going to hear George Bush. Hopefully y'all guys will be able to hear it okay. His first inaugural address, and he talks about the angel that rides in the whirlwind. He's talking about this one. He's talking about this one. Okay? The blue Kachina. He's talking about this one, the blue Kachina. And he's talking about this one, the 4th horse of the apocalypse, the pale horse, which is a pale green. Right here. Thank you, Father, for showing me all of this and allowing me to show it and share it with people successfully. So let's hear Bush.
Do you not think an angel rides in the whirlwind?
I know that ain't very loud. Let me see if I can possibly adjust it a little bit. A little bit, not much. Do you not know that an angel rides in a whirlwind and directs the storm?
This work continues.
This work continues.
The story goes on.
The story goes on.
And an angel still rides in the whirlwind.
And an angel still rides in a whirlwind.
And directs this storm.
And directs this storm.
God bless you all.
So that's Bush. What was he talking about? He's talking about exactly what I just explained to you. So, I've shown you quite a bit, haven't I? I've shown you more than even I knew I was going to show you. And there'll be more to show. But the same deity is this deity that they say, the creator of the cosmic universe, the king of dancers, who dances the Ananda Tandava in the twilight. Now, you have to understand, different religions worship different gods. India worships many gods, many of them, legioned. And not everybody in India, but some of them. But they're worshiping the same gods. They're all the same gods or deities, or in my case, I would call them fallen angels. This one, they call it Shiva, but it's also the blue Kachina. You can see the blue and the green coloring along with the copper, of course, that was originally put on there. Dancing, and dancing in what? A circle. And what's on the palm of her hand? The same star that is on the chest of the blue Kachina and iPet goat. Right there. Right there. Do you see the frequency that she's projecting coming off from the sides of her head? She, he, it. Do you see the frequency that it's projecting? Remember we were talking earlier about the projection of frequency as she's coming in. They're waiting on her. They built CERN for it. So it is neither a he or a she as we understand things. Comes in and stomps on humans. See the flames that are around the edge of it? Those are the frequency lines. You have to look at this whole entire image as a 3D image, as if it was in a bubble. You know, the same bubble that, and I'll show you real quick. You see Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. She traveled through a tornado or a supercell thunderstorm, which is a portal. It's in the same image, has the same functionality, the same symbolism, the same attributes as a portal, and even something that can destroy or give birth. And angel arrives, Wizard of Oz. Now, if this is a star, aka an angel, then she will arrive in something that looks like that. A bubble that looks like it's on fire and has some blue and green colorations to it. Let's see if she comes that way. Alright, so what's coming in the background? Do you see it? orbs, especially the big ones like this, they're angels. But all of them are deity or even spirits. Even when a rat dies, an orb will come out of his body. I have a documentary on it, on the whole subject. So here comes the angel. She's coming to see Dorothy. And I have to keep pausing it so I don't get a copyright strike, because those aren't very fun. And she should get here in a second in her green bubble. And it changes colors to purple, heliotrope, which is similar to heliofont. It's purple is royalty, heliotrope. It means high deity. And what do we see? Oh, what do you know? We have a deity, the Good Witch, and she has stars all over her. Why? Because stars are angels. Because stars are angels, and so is the blue Kachina. But just as angels and stars are angels and angels are stars, it's so related to comets and everything else that we see in the heavens. With all that being said, I appreciate you guys. I love you. If you enjoy this content, feel free to see some of the links down below in the more section below the YouTube videos, or in the description selection, or wherever you're watching from. And next time you're back, we should be Beyond the Veil again before the show. So normally we're Beyond the Veil, meaning on the website live an hour or so before we ever go live on YouTube or anyplace else. And so you can be there before the show when we're just hanging out and getting ready and talking, and I'm getting everything ready to go, having all my problems, fixing things. And then you can watch the live show, and then maybe even be able to hang out after the show and talk to us, or maybe even join us in the studio. We'll drop the link and you can join us in the studio, and we can all chat a little bit. With that being said, I love you. Father in heaven loves you. We'll see you Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm going to be going live on TikTok. I'm going to go fish in that pond. I wish I could just add it on here, but I can't yet. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, live here around 2 o'clock or 2:30, somewhere in there, depending on how many problems I have. And again, Tuesdays and Thursdays live on TikTok, The Supernatural Show. Bye-bye for now.